independent candidates riding on a grievous narrative that last month's Jubilee Party primaries were manipulated to impose a crop of leaders preferred by as yet unnamed forces has caused concern in the camp of those running on the ruling party's ticket. The fear is that if the narrative gains traction, coupled with a string of court decisions overturning party primaries, the Jubilee candidates' campaigns will be bogged down by the perception that they benefited from a flawed process. It is a narrative they are keen to counter by labeling the independents sour losers. By calling a meeting at Kasarani on Saturday, the independent aspirants group appears to have seized the initiative, with part of a resolution being to engage the Independent Electorals and Boundaries Commission over the recruitment of presiding officers to oversee the general election. Today we turn our focus on the rise of independence and, of course, what will it portend when it comes to 2013 general election. We also drill deeper into it and we look also moving forward. How will it pan out when it comes to the National Assembly as well, with the rise of independence? This is something we cannot just hide our heads in the sand and pretend it's not affecting us. The independents are here, so what do we do with them? That is what we'll be discussing this morning and a raft of other issues here on This Is a Point here on AM Live. Remember, it is Monday, the 22nd of 2017, and you're bang on time for a very engaging, compelling show today here on AM Live. Already in studio, we have with us businessman Shaban Suleiman. Also, we have Kipruto Arab Kirwa, who is the deputy leader of ANC, and also we have with us a global leader of Kenya Diaspora Alliance, that is Dr. Shemu Chodha, I should say. And we're eagerly waiting also for other panelists to join us this morning. Amongst them, we'll be speaking to Kabando, and also we'll be moving forward and drilling deeper on this particular issue that we've said we'll be discussing this morning. But let's see what is fresh off the press this morning. This is AM Live, and here are your dailies. We begin with the Daily Nation. This is of what is on the front page of the Daily Nation today. Zuma, man who brought down Mandela's party. South Africa leader gets the corruption right and title else. Least of all is succession. South African president has lined up his former wife to succeed him as a masses reject ANC in municipal polls and head to the streets in protest. You have a full coverage of this on page 10 and 11 of today's Daily Nation. Also, counting down to Kenya's new railway service. You have a pictorial on page 6 of this, and Wiper, we aren't going for top job. The National Super Alliance yesterday allayed fears among Kenyans that its running mate Kalonzo Musyoka will contest the presidency on the Wiper ticket. Presidential candidate Raila Odinga and Wiper Secretary General Hassan Omar has described their fears as unfounded, saying Mr. Musyoka was committed to the cause of the coalition. That story continues on page 4 of the Daily Nation today. The Standard is up next, and this is what is a splash today. Uhuru Raila campaigns ready to roll, it says, with the electioneering period beginning next Sunday. The day presidential candidates will be submitting their papers, parties have put together machinery to fight it out with competitors. 6 and 7 and 8 is what we have also as the pages where we have the comprehensive coverage of this story. Also, Nairobians' legendary Nyama Choma affair, you can find it on the Metropolitan inside the Standard today. The Star is up next, and this is what we have as a splash today. How State House fixed Peter Kenneth. Sonko is reported to have threatened to unleash embarrassing tapes. Former Getanga MP has the support of people close to President Kenyatta, and that story is on page 4 and 5 of the Star today. Also, police are holding an uncle of the 3 kids killed in Uasin Gishu. We have a picture here of Peter Kenneth, Nairobi governor aspirant Peter Kenneth, when he announced he will be vying for the seat as an independent candidate on Friday. That story, you have it inside the Star this morning. We move on and we see what we have also on the front page of the People Daily. NASA in fresh demands to IBC. Opposition revives apprehension of a limited 3G network coverage and electronic transmission of presidential poll results. Calls for unity hybrid technology involving 3 marked service providers and participation of all stakeholders. That story continues on page 6 of the People Daily today. Sugar milk prices set to ease as imports trickle in. The duty-free commodity is expected to hit retail shelves from next week. Also, TSC moves to promote 10,000 teachers hailed. And that story continues on page 2 of the People Daily. The Business Daily is holding this particular headline for you. Patni, I should say, sues CBK for millions held in bank. That story continues on page 4 of the Business Daily. Semi Africa lays off 277 workers. That story continues on page 4 of the Business Daily. And flooding, this is how it was. Motorists driving through flooded section of Nyerere Avenue after heavy rains pounded the city yesterday. A poor drainage system has left some houses and roads submerged. This is in Mombasa. Also, Tobacco 6 use of phone taps in court, it says, and that story is on page 4 of the Business Daily today. We cross the borders and we see what we have on the front page of the Daily Monitor. If you're in Uganda, this is your headline today. Cost of feeding family up 30% in 2017. Basic Needs Daily Monitor survey reveals that a working class family of 6 on average consumes 1 kilogram of meat, a loaf of bread, 1/4 of a bunch of matoke, 1 kilogram of flour and a half kilogram of sugar, rice and beans, as well as 1 liter of milk in a day. That story continues on page 4 and 5 of the Daily Monitor. And Museveni's time is up, says Winnie Byanyima said the time of Museveni has ended and he should not tamper with constitution to change the presidential age limit. That story continues inside the Daily Monitor also. And we continue also to cross over to Tanzania and see what the Citizen has for us. Mystery killings bring districts to a standstill. Teachers and pupils stay home while some health centers have been hit by poor staff attendance. Day-to-day activities paralyzes residents of Rufiji and Kilwa Bwanda. Who is next on the killer's hit list? That story on page 4 and 5 of a Citizen in Tanzania. Still in Tanzania, we have the Mwananchi as well. Mwigulu, mauaji pwani ni fumbo, bodaboda zinavyotishia uhai wa wanafunzi. That is what we have as a splash on the front page of the Citizen in Tanzania. I want to show you also what we have on the front page of the New York Times. This is what we have today, and you can see this is the letters actually from the New York Times National Edition. President Trump and the First Lady met with King Salman in Riyadh on Saturday. Mr. Trump is seeking a new Middle East approach. Of course, this is all about reconfiguring the foreign policy and killing CIA informants. China stifled U.S. spying. One of the worst breaches in decades. Investigators clash over the cost. This is what we have on the front page of the New York Times. Saudis welcome Trump's rebuff of Obama views. Beleaguered at home. President puts focus on world stage. Also, Pruitt's EPA is bound to oil and gas. Chief has history with the company that sought rollbacks. You can follow all that in the Star today. Let's try and see what we have as editorial cartoons today. I want to show you what we have also in the Standard. This is what Ghetto has drawn for us today. My beauty wife is 23 years younger than me. And we can see also my beautiful wife is 23 years younger than me. My beautiful wife is 24 years older than me. So this is Emmanuel Macron and Donald Trump, of course, with their spouses. And we have also Stano has this particular story for us, or editorial cartoon. It's all about death. Our project is remarkable, keeps growing and growing. Of course, we had also a very interesting story last week on the Business Daily that the debt level now is rising to actually 4 trillion shillings. And this is how has been captured by Stano in the People Daily. All right, those are your dailies this morning. I shall show you later what we have also in some other editorial cartoons. But you can grab a copy of the Daily Nation, grab a copy of the Standard, or whichever paper that really appeals to you. Let's see what we have in the highlights this morning. And promises to ease curfew during Ramadan in Mandera. We will not support you. Raila tells independent candidates as IBC receives record submissions from disgruntled aspirants. And Real Madrid win La Liga title after 5-year wait. Deputy President William Ruto says that the government will lift the curfew imposed on Mandera County during the Ramadan period. Speaking when he toured the county, Ruto also chided the opposition, accusing it of retrogressive politics. Ruto was accompanied by a host of leaders from Jubilee and from different regions who spoke on their plans for the August elections, expounding their strategy on how to beat the opposition.
Kama mnataka maendeleo ya Jubilee, tuendelee kujenga reli na barabara na kuunganisha stima na kusambaza mambo ya maendeleo, ama mnataka mambo ya fitina na porojo na propaganda ianze. Tumeshakubaliana na viongozi wote ambao ni wasimamizi wa mambo ya usalama ya kwamba katika mwezi mtukufu wa Ramadhani tutaondoa mambo ya curfew ili kila mwananchi apate nafasi ya kuabudu na kuombea taifa letu la Kenya.
Mandera Jubilee, Garissa Jubilee, Wajir Jubilee, Marsabit Jubilee, Isiolo, Kilifi, Ramu, Western Bungoma, Kisii, Central Mount Kenya yote, Rift Valley yote, 70 plus.
Katiba inawapatia ruhusa, but those independent candidates, they cannot give conditions to President Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto.
Raisi hana broka katikati ya watu ambaye lazima atuwaambie raisi bila sisi hawezi pata kura.
Kuna Jubilee moja peke yake, si ndio? Kuna Jubilee ngapi? Kuna Jubilee ngapi? Mambo ya mpango ya kando tumekataa.
NASA presidential flag bearer and ODM leader Raila Odinga has declared total war on candidates running on independent tickets, branding them enemies of NASA. Raila said that though he is not opposed to independent candidacy, NASA had resolved to back only the candidates flying the alliance's flag in the August 8th polls.
Elections is competition. So you can see we are competing against Jubilee and several other political parties. So those who are running as independent also are candidates against us. So I'm saying that we are supporting candidates who have the ODM flag. We are not rooting for anybody else. You see, independents are independent, and they're independent and free to campaign for themselves. So we have never said anywhere that we are backing independent candidates. We don't just want to win the presidency. We want to have also majority in both houses of parliament so that we can be able to prosecute our agenda in government.
And Wiper Democratic Movement leader Kalonzo Musyoka has dismissed the recently unveiled alliance of independent candidates, saying it is not anchored in any law. Kalonzo says such a coalition can only be framed under the Bill of Rights, Freedom of Association, but nothing political. The Wiper leader met the remarks at AIC Kasina in Mlolongo, where he attended a Sunday service. Kalonzo also pleaded with the electorate, I should say, to not only support his candidature with Honorable Raila Odinga, but also consider the 6-piece vote in a Wiper stronghold.
Itakuwa ni maajabu mimi niwe deputy president, and I want to ask you kanisa la AIC Kasina, mimi niwe deputy president na sina MCA wa Wiper, sina governor wa Wiper, sina mjumbe wa Wiper. Itakuwa mimi ni mtu tu anakaa hivi hivi. Hata Raila atasema wewe ni mtu sample gani? So this is the hard thing. Much as we respect those who are running as independents and other parties, please understand me when I tell you the reality is I also need women rep wa Wiper, MCA wa Wiper, so that nikiingia kule na tukijipanga kwenda mbele, at least tuko pamoja.
A section of independent candidates in Mombasa have voiced their support for Senator Hassan Omar to become the next governor of Mombasa. Some of them, including journalist Mohammed Ali Jijo Pevu, lost in the recent ODM Wiper Party nominations. They were speaking at Frere Town Social Hall.
Tunapatia kijana moja mpole, kijana aliyesoma, kijana mstaarabu ambaye atatetea nyinyi kwa haki, kijana Hassan Omar Sarai.
Yaani sisi ni independent, chaguo letu ni Raila Odinga, lakini biashara ya baada ya Raila Odinga kukuja chini, wananchi wakazi wa Mombasa wataamua wanataka nani.
Hawa madume walio hapa, gavana wetu ni Hassan Omar Sarai.
Times of imposing leaders on the electorate are long gone. People this time around are going to elect candidates or their leaders based on their abilities to deliver